Good evening. It is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025, and coming to you from Lonely Tree Media headquarters in Tacoma, Washington. This is the Best Slam Sports Show. I tried to screw that up right off the bat. January 25th.
You definitely did try.
January 25th was what I was going to say, which is not exactly right, but I mean, at least I got the 25 part. I was so worried that I was going to say 24 at some point, but instead I screwed everything else up. I'm your host, David Lamb. With me is my son, Parker. Say hello, Parker.
Hello, Parker. And hello, people.
Yay, studio audience. That is the best studio audience that you don't have to pay for. The best free studio audience you can get. I mean, we give away the tickets, so.
They show up, though.
If you,
they
yeah,
give away the tickets to, like, a big, what are they called? Like, Jimmy Kimmel stuff. Those are free, too.
Those are free. Just, I mean, we give them away. We just don't have the same kind of lineup, but, you know, the big shows. I'm just saying. Anyway, Happy New Year, everybody, because, it's our first show of the new year. And by the way, we did 24 shows last year. Just FYI. It seems like we would have done more. When it boils down to it, it becomes every other weekish because of, work schedules, vacations, people being sick, holidays, people, not being out of town. I think we do more than that, but 24. That's what we did last year.
Yeah.
So this, by the way, I think this is show 157 overall.
Nice.
157 shows, which is amazing, right? I mean, I don't know, right? It's amazing they keep renewing us.
Season after season, here we are.
I mean, I don't think it'll ever end. Anyway,
it's just us in the West Wing with 20 seasons.
Right, and I think that's right. I think we're gonna outlast Seinfeld and MASH and.
Seinfeld was only like 11 seasons, right?
Well, I mean, we're only at like 5, so let's simmer down. This is.
Oh wait, no, Seinfeld was 8.
I don't know.
8 or 9. It was because it didn't make it to 10.
It wasn't that long, but anyway, yeah, we're definitely if we stay on long enough, we may have enough. We may have as many views as Seinfeld, but we got to do a lot more seasons than them to catch up.
According to the Seinfeld was 180 episodes, so we're getting there.
Oh, we only need 23 more.
Yeah, the 9 seasons. Yeah, 180 episodes.
Plus, theirs are only a half hour long.
Theirs are only a half hour long. Yeah.
So we've done more work than the Seinfeld people.
And they did it over the course from 1989 to 1997. We're putting in more time.
We are. We're definitely putting in the work. I think it's paying off.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the last week of the NFL season. The NFL playoffs are here, and what we think may or may not happen. We're also going to talk about. Plus, we have NFL trivia, which is awesome. We're going to talk about the college football playoffs. We're down to the semifinals. If we have time, because I don't know if there'll be time. The Ducks are playing good basketball. They did get their behinds handed to them at home, but they're still in the thick of things. They're still looking pretty good. Rebounded from that with a win. And then the NBA standings, we'll talk about what's happening in the world of the NBA. By the way, if you're an NBA fan, and I'm not particularly, but if you are an NBA fan, the two teams with 2 best records, Cleveland and Oklahoma City, are playing right now.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City's got a 15-game winning streak, and Cleveland has a 10-game winning streak. And I didn't go look at it, but I'm about to, just for an update, to tell everyone, it's over.
Oh, it's over.
It's over. In Cleveland. Cleveland 129, Oklahoma City 122. So there you go. There's your final from Cleveland. So Cleveland's looking good. I'm just saying, I haven't watched much basketball yet this year, so I really don't know anything about anything with the NBA.
I've been keeping my eye on it. Just keeping an eye on who's good and things like that.
A little bit.
I've probably watched 10, 15 games or so this year.
Right.
But I don't get to see any of Portland's games. I get to see all of Denver's games though.
Hey, you join the club. I don't get to see any Portland's games either. So.
which is so unfortunate. But that's because they're en route, right?
Yeah, that's the majority of their games are en route. Unless you get if you can get they have I think they have a channel, like a KGW channel, which is an NBC from Portland. They have their own channel you can get, but I'm not paying for anything, so
yeah.
to watch the Blazers be mediocre at best. Anyway, a lot of stuff to talk about. We're gonna kick it off with the NFL because that's what we do. Week 18 was big. A lot of things to decide in Week 18, and it started on Saturday, January 4th. The Ravens and the Browns kind of a foregone conclusion. We thought we knew exactly what we were going to get, right? I mean, I did. I don't know about you. But we figured the Ravens were the better team, and they had something to play for. They were going to play their starters, and if they did, they should beat the Browns. That being said, they lost to them the last time they played. So
yeah, I think that you can chalk that up to the Browns getting up for something and sneaking out a win more than the Ravens, losing that.
Right. Ravens end up winning 35-10, pretty much a runaway. Derrick Henry, 20 carries, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson goes over 4,000 yards passing, 16 of 32, which is 50%. That's not great, right? But 217 yards, 2 touchdowns. He didn't need to be great. Plus, the cute little trick play near the end zone where he tried to hook past the ball to Derrick Henry. Did you see that play?
Yeah, I did. It was. He's a playmaker. He's gonna try and do stuff.
He tried to Patrick Mahomes it, and it didn't work out so much that one, but it's okay. The Ravens are still the Ravens. 12-5, secure the number 3 seed in the AFC. I think they had it wrapped up anyway if they won, right? Because if they lost and Pittsburgh won, Pittsburgh had a chance to win, right?
Right.
But there they are. Anyway, so the Ravens are the 3 seed. Cleveland is 3-14. I don't know where they're fall in the draft. I didn't look right now, but what I hear is that Tennessee has the number 1 pick.
Tennessee has the number 1 pick. That is true. I'm looking at it right now. Cleveland's second. Yeah.
Second. Okay, I was gonna say Cleveland's got to be right there.
So if Tennessee takes Hunter, they'll take Shadur or whatever,
Maybe. Cleveland surprised me. Bailey Zappi was the starting quarterback, and then he wasn't. I mean, he started the game and he played a series, threw an interception, I think, and then they immediately went to another quarterback for their 4th. Bailey Zappi was their 4th starting quarterback this year already. But that being said, the first one, Deshaun Watson hasn't played since week 1 or week 2, whenever he got hurt.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but they're a disaster at quarterback. To be honest with you, I don't think they're good. You can say what you want about Deshaun Watson. He has the potential. Okay, great, but I don't think he's going to be anything anymore. I think he's done as a starter.
Yeah.
But
I would agree. The league is probably to some extent making sure of it, but also you iced him for 2 years.
That's true.
So that's not great for anyone. And also, it's Cleveland. Even if you are a great quarterback, you can still go to Cleveland and get ran into the ground. Ask Baker Mayfield. He'll tell you. It doesn't matter how good you are. So when a quarterback leaves Cleveland, they might not be washed up. It might just be the Cleveland effect.
It could be. You're right. It's possible. Anyway, so Ravens win. They secure the 3. And with a little help from Cincinnati, who made things interesting, right? The Bengals played at the Steelers. Both teams with a lot to play for. Bengals still in the playoffs at this point, and come away with a win, a 19-17 win. It wasn't a great football game in terms of what to watch. I was really hoping there'd be more snow. The snow was falling, but it wasn't enough to stick.
It didn't make for a visually appealing game.
No, I do like, however, Cincinnati's orange pants. I'm going to tell you that the orange pants with the orange helmets both with the stripes. I like that. That looks.
Isn't that their normal uniform?
I don't know that they always wear orange. I swear they wear black pants, but I could be wrong.
Oh.
Or they could.
I didn't know. I didn't even thought about that. I know they had black pants at one point, but I didn't know they had black pants this year.
I think they have white, black, and orange pants, and I'm not 100% certain which color they wear all the time. But the orange, when I saw it, I was like, that's actually visually appealing. I like that. So anyway, but Pittsburgh wore what Pittsburgh wears, which is the same thing they've been wearing since they started playing football.
Yeah, Pittsburgh needs to grow some and make some new jerseys.
They'll never happen. They're the Alabama, right?
It's true. Yeah, very true.
They're not changing nothing. Anyway, Bengals win. Joe Burrow keeps the playoff hopes alive. 37 of 46. He threw the ball 46 times this game, only for 277 yards and 1 touchdown. Jamar Chase, the recipient of said touchdown, 10 catches for 96 yards. And Khalil Herbert, 20 carries for 69 yards. They needed all of that just to hold off the Steelers and win 19-17. The Steelers had a chance to do something and instead fell to what, 6th now? No, is that right? 6th seed? Yeah, they're 6th seed.
Yes, because they're now playing the Ravens.
They fell behind the Chargers, who won.
Yeah,
so they became the 6th seed in the playoffs, which, I mean, what was wrong with hold on a second here. My stuff is not coming up, and I don't know why, because nothing wants to do nothing when I want it to. What was wrong with George Pickens in this game? I'm asking for a friend. He had one catch for no yards. He was targeted 6 times. He dropped at least 2. I want to say 3.
I don't know if saying what was wrong with George Pickens is the right way to phrase that as much as what was wrong with their offense as a whole, because George Pickens didn't have very much in that game, but they also only scored 17 points.
True.
They didn't have that much altogether. He pretty much threw it to the tight end exclusively all day. Mike Williams had 1 catch. Najee Harris had 4 dump downs. Right?
Freiermuth pretty much the whole way.
Yeah, so they only had 17 receptions total on the field, and 8 of them were to Freiermuth. So
maybe it was Cleveland. Maybe Cincinnati, or maybe Cincinnati's defense. Maybe that was the case.
Well, it was. They sacked him 4 times. That's a pretty big deal. That'll slow him down. But yeah, I mean, 12 of their 17 catches were 2 people, and there were 3 other guys who caught him. So yeah, he had a not great game. He had 6 targets though, as well. I'll tell you, he had 6 targets and only 1 catch.
Yeah.
I would say usually when it says that sort of thing, I think like half of them were not great catchable balls. Because did you know a throwaway where there's a receiver in the area counts as a target? Yeah, it counts as a target. So there could have been some of those with Russ running for his life all day.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny when you look at him because like Wilson had 31 attempts, 29 targets, and Burrow had 46 attempts, and he had, that can't be right. Somebody mucked up the numbers. Somebody mucked up the numbers.
I see Burrow had 46 attempts.
Yeah, but the target numbers on ESPN are wrong. That whole column of numbers is wrong.
It says 92.
Yeah, and it says 74 catches and 92 targets.
Yeah, somebody just added something wrong. I'm guessing you could probably guess it's 46.
It is 46, yeah. But he apparently he threw all of them at a receiver. What happened to the other 2 by Russell Wilson? Were those actual like throwaways, or were they actual? I mean, what 2 didn't count as a target?
They probably actual throwaways.
Yeah, it could be. Where it was like way out of the back.
Because I'm like 90% sure those count as like actual toss.
Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting to see the numbers. Never really looked at them, targets versus actual attempts, to see if there's any kind of. Anyway, George didn't look very good. That's all I'm saying.
No, he did not. But their whole offense did not look very good. Russell Wilson didn't look very good.
That's true. What else needed to be decided? The NFC South. Panthers at the Falcons. Right? Falcons have a chance. There's something to play for. A win and a Tampa Bay loss, and they're your NFC South champions. But instead, they let Bryce Young and company come in. Bryce Young counts for 5 touchdowns, and they win 44-38 in overtime. Poor Falcons.
Yeah, I don't know how you deal with that appropriately, because that's not a good loss.
Well, the fact that it kept them out of the playoffs is appropriate because. You know, they weren't going to get in anyway because Tampa Bay won. But I'm just saying, the fact that was what did them in, because you can't go out and lose to the Panthers at home.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Like that, and then expect to be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. It was an interesting game. It's interesting to watch who played and who didn't play in some of these games. Drake London with 10 catches, 187 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's a good player. That's a good wide receiver.
He's not bad.
Playing on a team with a rookie quarterback and/or Kirk Cousins throwing you the football. I mean, not that Kirk Cousins is bad, but I'm just saying. Bijan Robinson, 28 carries, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns also. So Michael Penix, I think, can be good. He's got flashes. He's going to take some. It's going to take some time, and I think he needs a little better team around him to become good. If he stays with the Falcons and they don't improve, it's going to be tough.
They're going to have quite the decision to make this offseason. For sure. With regards to Michael Penix and not Joe Flacco. Oh my gosh, Kirk Cousins' contract.
Kirk Cousins, yeah. That's interesting. So anyway, Panthers go on the road and win 44-38, crushing the Falcons' hopes of making the playoffs, which turns out didn't matter because Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers pulled out a 27-19 win against the Saints down in Tampa with 14 fourth-quarter points. I, for all the world, thought the Saints were going to do this. Pretty much the whole game, I was like, Saints are in this. They got this. They got control of this. They're going to do this. No. No.
Can't put your faith in the Saints. That's a bad move.
Apparently not. Although Bucky Irving had 19 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown for the Buccaneers. Bucky's pretty good. He's
had a pretty good year.
He's
Surprisingly.
had a pretty good year. Yeah, that's what I said. I mean,
it took them a long time to realize that he was talented and give him the shots.
Yeah. But all they had to do was win, and they're in. They do. They win. And thanks to the Rams, they're the 3 seed in the playoffs instead of the 4. And I think that's a big deal. We'll talk about that in a minute. I don't know for sure that that's a gigantic deal, but I do love me some Baker Mayfield right now. I'm just telling you. I think he's a great quarterback. However, I wasn't a big fan of the play they did to Mike Evans. You know that. Yeah. I read a whole bunch of articles about blah 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 and people praising it and get him there, get him paid because he took a contract, he took a pay cut and made it more incentive laden, and I was like, yeah, but the whole point is for you to go earn it. It's not for us to give it to you. The whole point of an incentive is you go out and get it. Not we design one play at the end of the season to make sure you get it.
Still had to catch it, didn't he?
Agreed.
They still could have defended it, couldn't they?
They could have. They could have done better.
There's a lot they could have done to stop it, and a lot he could have done to screw it up, is what I'll say.
You're right. I'm just saying, though, when the game's in hand and you're supposed to be taking a knee, you're making a play to make sure a guy gets a thing. That seems to me like you didn't earn it. We gave it to you. Which is that's how you want to do it, that's fine.
But the logic already is that there's an extra game anyway, so you didn't earn it to begin with.
That's true.
And that guy probably did it in different time than the guy before him, so he didn't earn it. And that guy didn't do it in a different time than the guy before him, so he didn't earn it. Nobody it's constantly changing. Well, yeah, I mean that's because everyone likes to value abstract concepts like what records mean. Like they don't actually mean anything. At the end of the day, this was a win regardless of that catch. It did nothing for anyone except Mike Evans and the organization. It bought them a ton of goodwill with players around the league.
But if records don't mean anything, then why do we celebrate them? Why do we just like this? It's like, oh, he ties Jerry Rice. And
who's we in this instance?
The media.
It flashes. Yeah, exactly. It flashes up on
we're the media.
Thursday Night Football, and then it goes away. And you maybe talk about it the next time you do a podcast.
Right.
And then you never talk about it again. So it's not really, I wouldn't say it's I'm not cracking open a bottle of champagne for somebody breaking a record, even if it is a record that I like. Even if it is a person I like. So I would say that it's just kind of like a
Mike Evans is a great wide receiver, first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's really good.
He's really good. But
I didn't think he would end up there after Tom Brady left, but he's maintained.
I don't think you didn't need to do what you did. To me,
no. It was like I said, it was a win-win-win. It buys you the only people who are going to be upset about it, the only people who are going to not like it, aren't playing and aren't involved in the game.
That's true.
And those are the people you can afford to upset because what's it called? Twitter and Facebook warriors are going to yell at you for it. But if it brings you one free agent, worth it.
I suppose.
If it makes Mike Evans re-sign again, worth it.
I suppose. He's getting to that point where
he's almost done.
It's hard to tell, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about your boy Bo Nix. Broncos playing against the Chiefs. Yes, the Chiefs were sitting everyone, just about. But still, you got to go out and win the football game, right? And Bo Nix came out and he was 26 of 29 for 321 and 4 touchdowns. He looked every bit that good. You still have to complete passes. Those defensive backs are not just mailing it in. They're not just letting you complete passes. And
they only sat 5 people to start the game.
Right.
Well, but by halftime they pulled like another 10.
Yeah. By the way,
by halftime it was almost blown out. So
by the way, Bo Nix was the leading rusher in this game too. So 7 carries for 47.
We really didn't run the ball much. We threw it a lot.
Well, 29 times. I mean, it just seemed like a lot. I mean,
it seemed like a lot because it was getting you a lot.
Right. Yeah, it seemed like a lot. I mean, 29. There are 43 rushes. There's 43 rushes for 158 yards. It just was split up between McLaughlin, Estime, Williams, and Bo Nix. Which 158 yards. If you ran for 158 yards every game, I think you take that as a team. Now it was 3.7 yards a carry. It was kind of low, but still, they did great. And you know what? They looked good. Okay, and it's got to be a good feeling win, right? That's one of those wins where you come out and everything goes right and you're playing well. And yeah, it's Carson Wentz on the other side, not Pat Mahomes. I get it, but you still feel good about winning the football game. You held Kansas City at 27 yards rushing. Doesn't matter who's rushing the ball.
I think if we don't beat the Chiefs last year and that streak is still alive, I think maybe they start some people.
Yeah.
But there's no streak anymore because we beat them last year. So it all started over. So yeah, it's kind of a weird one. But man, Carson Wentz did himself no favors.
No, he didn't.
He did not look good. Don't get me wrong, we're the leading sack team in the nation, but
he was sacked
he did
4 times.
nothing.
Yeah, he was sacked 4 times too. They were not. No. I mean, they were not great. Can't say really like 100 yards of offense.
Yeah,
120 or something. It wasn't very good. But anyway, Denver wins at 38-0 to buy their way in. Basically, the win put them in. Now they had to win because Cincinnati won and Miami lost. Right. Cincinnati would have got in had the Broncos lost. So Broncos seal up that 7 seed. We'll talk about where and when they're going to play here in a minute. How about the catch by Vele in the end zone?
The tip drill?
The tip drill.
Sometimes you gotta get lucky.
I mean, yeah, that was, I for all the world was sure that ball was touched by somebody on the end line.
Yeah.
And then they kept showing it, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. No, nobody, none of the 3 of them.
It was good, yeah.
And he kept it, and
I thought it was out. When I watched it in real time, I'm like, darn it. And everyone was all jazzed. I'm like, okay, settle down. And then they showed the replay. I'm like, well,
that's right.
But they called it a touchdown on the field.
Yeah, that's important.
And that helps a lot. By the way, I'm reading here. They only sat on offense Mahomes, Hunt, and Kelsey. All right, Mecole Hardman was already out with a knee injury. Pacheco was already out with a knee injury, and Jawan Taylor was already out with a knee injury. They're not supposed to be back until second week of the postseason or till after the bye. Right. So they only sat 3 people on offense, and they still couldn't muster offense against us. So all their linemen were their starters. All of their other receivers were their starters. They just couldn't do anything. It just shows you how important a Pat Mahomes is. You just sub out Carson Wentz, and it becomes a lot different.
Yeah, for sure. Nick Benito with 2 sacks in this game, give him 13.5 for the season, and Jonathan Cooper with 1 also gives him 10.5. And like you said, they're the number 1 sack team in the NFL. The pressure just never seems to stop. They seem to be able to get pressure on. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, and when we played them earlier this year, we got pressure on them then too. Yeah. Like it doesn't matter if it's. It doesn't matter who it is or how good they are. We seem to be able to find ways to get into the backfield on just about everyone, which is incredible. Which I'm thrilled about.
Yeah, that was good. So Denver's in, and I love the retro uniforms. I like this.
I wish they'd wear them all the time.
That's what I'm used to from the late '70s. Really, it's Craig Morton days and early John Elway. Right?
Yeah, I want them to wear them all the time, but they only wear them 2 times a year and only against divisionals. And now they're gonna go back in the closet until next year. But those blue helmets are they're gorgeous.
Yeah, it's the combination. It's the color contrast. The blue and the orange look good.
When they announced their jerseys this year, they announced the first 3 and then the alternate, this one, and the first 3 became available. So the main 3, the blue, the normal orange, and the white, they came available right away. And I was like, I'm gonna wait until they put the throwback available. So that was the first one I got, was the throwback.
How about Jimmy Garoppolo and the Los Angeles Rams?
How about him?
Let me ask you this question: you're playing for a seeding. I mean, if they win, they're the 3. And I don't understand why you would put in your substitute. Let me ask you this: would you rather play Washington at home or the loser of the Detroit-Minnesota game? Because that's what you were facing.
Washington at home.
I would rather play Washington at home. That's correct.
Every bit of the day. Yeah.
So I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know why they decided. I mean, maybe Stafford's just hurt.
I'll say maybe it was an actual injury.
But you're also not seeing Nakua, and you're also not seeing Kupp. So I'm guessing since all 3 of them were out, that we weren't trying to win this football game. That being said, Jimmy Garoppolo throws for 334 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did everything he could to try and get him a win. But the Seahawks managed to put it out. Geno Smith, his first 4 touchdown performance, I would have thought he would have had one by now. I mean, he's not a great quarterback, but 4 touchdowns doesn't seem like it's that hard to do, at least once in your career. But this was his first one. So
this was his first time throwing 4 touchdowns?
Yeah, career high 4 touchdowns. Huh, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said. Huh.
Well, I've seen them have other. I mean, they've played Detroit 2 years in a row now in Detroit, and in both those games they scored 30+ points.
Yeah, apparently.
So I was like,
they throw
yeah,
down the field
one of those times.
Run it in, right?
I guess so.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
The Jalen Hurts way.
Right there, you go. But congrats to Geno Smith for his 4-touchdown performance.
And for this, he's going to get kicked off the team.
Probably. They're probably going to find another.
They already fired their OC.
Yeah, there's a lot of firings going on, right?
I do not like less than a calendar year they gave this guy with the team. Less than a calendar year. But yeah, he had one draft class. He was able to draft people this past year.
Right.
But 1 calendar year is all you gave him? Really? And then you said, "Oh, well, I just think we're moving in different directions." You didn't think that before you hired him? Like, why'd you hire him then? Like, are you not good at hiring people? Because they should have been in line with you before you hired him.
And that could be why he's out.
It's just so.
I don't know.
It's just so questionable that happened. Like them firing him it reminds me that any time the Broncos would fire someone, be like, "Oh, it was his fault. Yeah. That's why we were bad." And then next year, the Seahawks, they're not good, will fire the defensive coordinator. And then the next year, because it'll be his fault, because we got a new OC, so we can't blame it on an OC 2 years in a row.
Right. And then next year, it'll be the head coach.
And then the next year, McDonald will get fired.
Yeah. So Seattle becomes the only 10-win team this year to not make the playoffs. By the way, which, right? If you're a Seahawk fan, that's kind of frustrating.
To blame that on the North.
10 wins should get you in. I mean, it should, but the NFC in general had a lot of wins in it.
Well, here's the thing: would it have gotten them in
the AFC?
If it was no, the NFC? If it was just top 8 teams or top 7 teams based on win record? No, it wouldn't have. So even without seeding stuff, they still wouldn't have gotten into the 7.
No, it wouldn't have, because everybody else had more wins. I mean, the Rams had the same amount of wins, right? And what did Tampa end with?
Tampa ended with 10.
See, so there's 3 teams with 10 wins, and everybody else was higher than that. So, but you weren't fighting for a playoff spot with Tampa because Tampa was a division winner.
Right.
Which makes
right.
Did they play Tampa this year? So let me I'm looking.
Hard to say.
I'm looking right now, and I don't see that they played Tampa. So it would have come down to like conference record.
Yeah.
Overall conference record, and so oh good lord, hold on. Now I'm going down a rabbit hole. Hold on a second. I gotta know now. So the Seahawks would have had a conference record of 6-6, and Tampa Bay was 8-4, so they wouldn't have got in anyway.
Yeah. So, but regardless, I still agree. Even if you change the system to where your 4 division winners get in, and then the next 4 best teams, they still don't get in.
Right.
So the Seahawks have no one to blame except for the NFC this year.
Yeah,
for being decent.
And now the Rams are in with a losing point differential.
The losing point differential. That's tough.
I don't know that there's many teams in the playoffs that get into the playoffs with a negative point differential. I'm not sure that happens very often.
I would say it probably doesn't.
The Houston Texans are a 0 this year, by the way.
Are they really?
Yeah, 0. Dead even.
Huh.
I know. It's funny to look at it. There's teams out here with like Detroit 200 plus 222.
I'm fully expecting the Houston Texans to get bounced in the first round, but the problem is I don't trust the Chargers offense.
Well, we had one more game to talk about. The one I was looking forward to watching Sunday night, right? I didn't even know they were going to have Sunday night football. Normally they all play at the same time, but this was a good one because you could put it at night because it didn't affect anybody else but the 2 teams you were playing against.
Right.
And Detroit and Minnesota, for all the marbles of the division and the bye, right, in Detroit, and Minnesota didn't show up. What happened? I mean, Minnesota decided to take the night off all of a sudden, and I'm like, this game got ugly fast. And Jahmyr Gibbs, I guess, is the answer to that question.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 10-6 at the half, right? Okay. But it just kept slowly slipping further and further away. And Gibbs, 23 carries, 139 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And 14 fourth quarter points just put it away after it was 17-9 at that point. So Lions get the number 1 overall seed. They get the bye. The Vikings, as a reward, now get to go to play the Rams. And maybe it's in LA, maybe it's not, thanks to wildfires. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. They're talking about moving it to Arizona in case that's the emergency plan.
Yeah, it's because the Cardinals aren't doing anything.
I mean, they could. Yeah, I suppose, and it's indoor, so I guess it's still. Yeah. That's fair. Anyway,
and they use that site all the time for like Super Bowls and things like that. So it makes sense that you could.
Yeah. I was disappointed in the game. I like the Lions. I'm not disappointed. I just wanted it to be a better football game. And there was a point, and I want to say it was in the third quarter. I'm gonna have to look now, where Jared Goff turned and threw a screen pass, and it was going. I don't know who it was intended for, but Van Ginkel steps in and put his hand out, and he had the ball. He literally had a pick six. It was in his hands, and it would have changed the whole game at that point.
Yeah.
And he dropped it, and I was like, oh, that was it. I mean, that was the drive. I think it was. Gosh, I don't even know. I don't even know if I'll be able to find it in the thing. It's just going to say incomplete pass.
It's just going to say incomplete.
Yeah, it's not even going to be fair. But I think it was when Minnesota had scored. It was 10-9 in the third, and that's when Detroit went down and scored and made it 17-9. I think it was on that drive, 13-play drive by the Lions. But Van Ginkel had it. It was a pick six. It was gone. He was going the other way, and I think he knew that he had it, and he took his eyes off of it, and he just never completed the catch. And that was the turning point, because if he picks it off and they go down and they take the lead, this is a different football game.
Yeah, totally
different. And the momentum all swings and everything's woohoo. But yeah, that was the deciding moment. It might not have been that drive. It might have been the later touchdown, the next touchdown drive by Detroit. I can't remember, but it was a super big deal. It would have been a lot. Would have been a lot. Anyway, disappointed in that. Disappointed a little bit in Sam Darnold, but the Lions' defense is good. You don't get a plus 222 point differential by not having a good defense. I mean, your offense has to be good too, but your defense plays very well. And the Lions are a complete team. I would you bet against the Lions winning the NFC right now? Would you take the Lions or the field?
I would take the field.
Would you really?
Because of the Eagles.
Because of the Eagles. Okay, I was just gonna say that's the only team that I would think. Fire. Agreed. I just feel like the Eagles have to go to Detroit now.
I get it, but I'd take the field just in case, because I don't trust that the Packers couldn't do something crazy that they shouldn't do. I don't trust that Tampa couldn't get up and have a 30-something point game crazy. The Eagles are the most likely scenario to beat them. So I would take the field, but it's a real safe one. It's a very light bet.
Yeah,
wouldn't put a lot of money on
it. Well, we'll talk about it. Let's talk about it right now. But you know what? Yeah, let's talk about the playoff bracket because I can do that. So here I'm going to show you the NFL playoff bracket. Looks a little bit like this, thanks to ESPN. Look at the AFC here. There's the Chiefs with the 1 seed, right? You have the Chargers at the Texans playing indoors, but the Texans are a little beat up. They're not complete. They're not healthy. They're not also great. I don't know that I don't trust the Chargers. This might be a great football game, but the Chargers are a 3-point favorite. If you were going to pick this game right now, which you are, who are you going to pick?
Chargers.
By how much? They're going to cover that spread?
3 or 7.
Are they going to cover the 3?
They'll cover it. Okay. Yeah,
right.
That's fine.
All right.
I hate 3 as a thing.
Right. I would say the Chargers by 6. That's just, it's going to be close, but they're gonna pull it up. Then you have the Steelers at the Ravens for round 3. Baltimore's a 9.5-point favorite. By the way, that's the largest favorite in the wild card round. What is that telling you about the 6 seed Steelers? Well, they've lost 4 or 5 straight.
Yeah.
To finish the season, which was going to be one of my trivia questions. I was going to ask what's the longest losing streak to end the season and still make the playoffs. By the way, it's the Steelers. There wasn't any other team, and I was like, oh, that's not fair. So they're in at 6 seed. Do you think 9.5 is enough? I think the Ravens are going to destroy them. I think it's going to be bad.
I think the Ravens will win, but I would take the under just in case, because the Steelers' defense is not bad. Like, the Steelers' offense might not be able to win this game, and that's fine, which is what I think is going to happen.
Right.
But the Steelers' defense is good. And the last time they played, it was a pretty high-scoring game, right?
I don't remember. I'd have to pull it up, and
I can pull it up in 2 seconds.
Change my screen.
Nope, don't worry about it. I can pull it up in 2 seconds. All right, so last time they played was 34-17 Ravens. The time before that was 18-16. The Steelers have a lot of games this year where they're holding teams to like 19 here, 18 here, 20 here, 20, 13. Yeah, 18. Yeah, they have a lot of games like that. So I don't know. I would take the under on the
points.
On that
you think
9.5.
They'll cover the 9.5?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll take the Steelers and the 9.5 points. That's basically what you're saying. So you think it'll be like a 7-point game?
Yeah, 7, or maybe 7 and a safety. We'll call it 9 because they like to be jerks.
And I will give you the 9.5. I'm taking the Ravens. I think it's going to be a 17 to 20 point win.
Nice.
I think the Ravens are going to crush them. I don't think the Steelers have their. Yes, we made the playoffs, but we're down. We know that we've lost however many straight. Plus the game's on Prime Video, and so that's an advantage to the Ravens. I don't know why. I don't know why. But first ever playoff game on Prime Video, by the way. And that brings us to the Broncos at the Bills. Buffalo's an 8.5-point favorite playing at home. That may not be enough either for me.
That's plenty.
You think the Broncos will cover the 8.5?
Sure.
Okay. Because you're a Broncos fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not the most confident I've ever felt in a game, but we went to Buffalo last year and beat them, and I felt like our team was worse then.
Okay. And by the way, Texans Chargers, that's 1:30 on CBS on Saturday, and the Ravens Steelers is 5 on Prime Video, also Saturday. Broncos kickoff Sunday's broadcast 10 a.m. at CBS, which you did say. You did say it was going to be the early game.
Told you they'd make it the early one. They were going to punish us for being the low seed.
Playing a Buffalo game at 10 a.m. I guess that makes sense. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff there. So
yeah, it's still wimpy though. Come on, like,
all right.
Can we put all of these games in the evening? Like, let's have the first game start at noon, right? Texans Chargers starts at noon.
Right.
Next one's at 3:30. Next one's at 6:30.
Let's be fair. The Buccaneers game's a night game, right?
The Buccaneers game is a night game. That's correct.
The Ravens game's a night game.
Yeah.
The Rams game is a night game, although it's inside. Who cares? Because it looks the same whether it's day or night.
It's so funny the way they have these written in the playoff bracket where the home team. I get that it's by seeding, but having the home team written on top is strange.
You know, and see, it was funny because your mom and I were watching soccer Saturday morning, and because that's what we do. We watch Premier League soccer Saturday and Sunday mornings. We're watching soccer, and when soccer puts their teams up there, they put them horizontally, right? Not one on top of the other in terms of the score at the top of the screen. But the NFL like puts them, this team, the away team on top, the home team on the bottom, right? Which is what you're talking about here. This is why it looks weird because this is backwards. But the Premier League does it where the home team is listed first and the away team is listed second, but they're side by side. And it's really confusing if you don't know that right off the bat because you're like, where are we? Especially if it's like 2 blue teams or 2 red teams. Where are we? Where is this game? So I don't know why they do that. Why are we the only people that put things? The Americans do weird things, right? Soccer, an international sport, right? The clock counts, right, up. Except, we're going to have our own soccer league here in the States. We're going to have MLS soccer. We're going to count down. They don't do that anymore, but that's how they started it. We want to count down clock. You can't do that because you have stoppage time. But stoppage time is garbage anyways. It is, but it's helpful for those teams that are behind that in the 80th minute, some dude who got his shoelace stepped on is acting like he's going to need his leg amputated, and he's wasting. Stoppage time encourages flopping. Is the problem? No, it doesn't. If you get rid of, you go down on the field, you start screaming and crying and hollering, clock stops. You're not taking time off the board. Right, we're going to wait for you to get up, walk your happy ass off the field, and then we'll start the clock again, and that team will retain all of that stoppage time. But now, what I'm getting at is, if you don't have stoppage time, then what's to prevent one guy from running out the last 5 minutes with an injury? The clock doesn't run. It does. Injury. It absolutely stays on. No. Oh, you're saying stop the clock. That is exactly. They don't stop the clock for anything. You have stoppage time, and that encourages faking shit. The reason I'm saying is, if you stop the clock for injuries, faked or not, then they would stop faking them. There's no time added on at the end, but it also doesn't run while they're sitting there rolling on the ground. If you go to the ground, first of all, you need to leave. You need to leave for 5 minutes. I think is the way the game needs to work, like a penalty box type of thing. And that's fine. But I agree. And I hear you, and I get it, and I think you're right in that. But it's the same if you stop the clock as opposed to just adding the time on at the end. It's going to be the same.
It's not the same because, well, first of all, is stoppage time ever right?
Well, it's never right. But
It's
as long
never right. Stoppage time should be 20 minutes a game, and instead they do it for like, no, let's put 4 on there, and then when 4 hits, they're like, give them a few more.
Well, they only.
It's like, what the hell are we doing here? We're just making it up. The loosiest goosiest of rules. Like, just
okay.
Lock it in.
All right.
If you count down to 0 and that clock hits zeros, we're done. We're going home.
Do you know what you sound like?
What?
An American.
Probably.
There you go.
But that's because, English people love ties because they can't win. They can't win anything on their own.
They do love ties. Oh my gosh! You can see because like every sport in America got rid of ties. The NFL said no more. Yeah. We're not doing that in the postseason. It can still happen, but we're not doing it in the postseason. We can't have a tie. Yeah. Well, I mean they don't have ties in the postseason either there, but you go to shootout, right? There's no shootout in the NFL. They need to have.
No. So I guess hockey can end in ties.
Hockey can.
It can in the regular season. Yeah.
Yes, but you get a point. Like if you get a tie, right?
Yeah, you both get one. Yeah.
And that's what you guys they do the same thing in soccer. You don't get a point. It's like a loss in the NFL.
It counts against you more like a loss when push comes to shove. Yeah.
Right. The NBA doesn't have ties. And baseball doesn't have
ties. The NBA doesn't have ties. And I think that's the way it should be. They say that, like, oh, it's the world sport. Soccer's the world sport. It's like, yeah, the world generally sucks at most things. And that's why they're okay with just calling it quits after a hard 96-ish. Like, because they can't freaking decide on when they actually want to stop the game.
Wow. All right.
I get all riled up watching when the guy holds up that sign that says 4 minutes, and then I'm watching the clock go 94:01, 94:02, 94:03.
So part of that,
and I'm like, what are we doing here?
Part of that has to do with what happened in that 4 minutes. What happened in the overtime? Did someone else?
Oh, we can put stoppage time on stoppage time.
Yes, and
see, if you just took it down to 0 and you stopped the clock when people were being little baby sissy boys, we'd be fine.
And you can have. And you can, what was I going to say? Now you got me all confused. And you can, baby sissy boys.
Baby sissy boys.
And you can have, as long as you're attacking, right? Still making an effort to attack the goal, they won't stop the game.
Yeah, advantage, I will say, I like advantage as a concept within soccer. It wouldn't exist anywhere else because there's hard ends to everything. But within the framework of having stoppage time that is all willy-nilly and having, one referee cover, 16 miles of pitch.
Right.
Like, yeah, okay, advantage is kind of cool. But it's like it reminds me of pulling your goalie in hockey. It's like a sub 8% success rate. Like, advantage doesn't usually lead to your win or your tie. Although I will say I have seen some soccer games lately that ended pretty late, like in stoppage time. So
yeah.
But still, just count down to 0 or count up to 90. You want to keep the format of counting up to 90, fine. But stop the clock for injuries. Make them get off the field. Make them stay off the field for X amount of time. They got to play with 8 now, and you get to play with 9 during that time. Like. And stop the what's it called? Stop the guys faking injuries and stuff like that. That it needs to get under control. And people say, "Oh, well, that's the beauty of the game." It's not beautiful. It's ugly and it's nasty. Sometimes. It's the worst acting I've ever seen.
Yeah. The fakes are bad.
Yeah.
Well, look,
if it's a real injury, they will stop the game.
To be fair, if the referees would just give a yellow card or a red card to the flop to the what isn't a real injury.
You can barely get them to give yellows and reds when it matters.
Well, they do replay, right? They do a video replay for things like offside and is it a goal? Did it cross the line? That kind of stuff. Why don't you do a video replay on a challenge where someone goes down? Because you got time. Guy's down on the field, right? We're stopping the game for him anyway. Do a video replay. See if he got hit. If he didn't get hit, that's a yellow card. Immediate yellow card. Boom. And or make it worse. Make it a red. Bye. Have a nice day. And you guys are playing a man down. They won't do that.
They're not a chance in hell.
So it would be nice if they would, but they won't. Let's get to the NFC because we got sidetracked apparently. I don't know. How did we get to soccer? Anyway, the Lions are the number 1 in the NFC with their win, which means Vikings at Rams, and it may be at Rams or it may be at Arizona. We don't know, but definitely going to play the Rams. Minnesota's a 1-point favorite. I think that's garbage. I don't know who's going to win this game, though. I'll tell you that. I don't think it'll be 1 point. But if I had to put money on it, if it plays in LA, if they play at SoFi, I'm going to put money on the Rams to win the game.
I would, yeah.
If they play in Arizona, I'm going to put money on the Vikings. And don't ask me why, but I think that's going to be a huge difference. Both teams having to technically go on the road.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. But
I think that's fair. Yeah.
But I don't know who the better team is. The Vikings have 14 wins. Does that make them 4 wins better than the Rams? Make them a much better team?
Not even kind of.
Not. I mean, kind of. The Rams, when they play well, they're really good. They got a running back. They got wide receivers. They've got Matt Stafford. They've got experience. This is a good football team. When their defense doesn't play well, they're going to get their behinds handed to them.
Yeah.
But that remains to be seen. What's going to happen? The Rams have won a lot of low-scoring games recently, thanks to the defense. So anyway, there's the 5-4. That's on Monday night on ESPN. We got Monday Night Football. Spread it. You remember we were talking, and I said they should spread it over 3 days. They did. It just wasn't Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Anyway, Buccaneers Commanders. That's the 6-3 matchup in Tampa. Tampa's a 3-point favorite. I think Tampa's better than Washington. I don't know that that's true.
I think that Jaden Daniels is too dynamic to be stopped by that Tampa team.
By that defense?
Yeah. That's the issue I'm running into.
You're going to take the Commanders? And they're giving you 3 points.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Buccaneers. They'll at least, I don't know if they're going to cover this, but 3 points is you can't. It should be 3.5 or 2.5, right? 3 is a stupid number because we can have a push. But that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough one for me. I don't know if they're 4 points, 5 points better, but I mean, it's possible. I'm still going to take the Buccaneers. I'll give you the 3 points. I'll take the Buccaneers. That's fine. And then there's Eagles-Packers, which is Sunday. This is the middle of the day. It's a 1:30 game on Fox. Packers playing on the road at Philly. Philly's only a 4.5-point favorite. I realize Jalen Hurts had some issues. I still think the Eagles are at least 7, 8, 9 point better than the Packers.
I would 1,000% agree.
Okay, I 4.5. I'll take that all day. I'll give you the 4.5, and I'll take the Eagles. Right? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. All day.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to playoffs. Playoff football is some of the best football you'll ever find. I'm looking forward to seeing Tony Romo twice. Do we get Tony Romo and Jim Nantz twice? The Chargers Texans on Friday night, and then will they do the Broncos Bills on Saturday night and then Sunday morning? I hope so.
That'd be nice.
I hope so because there's 2 CBS games, and I'm hoping they can get both of them. You know, they do. All you gotta do is go from Houston to Buffalo. It's not that far.
Yep, Jim Nantz and Tony Romo.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Where are they doing Saturday night? Which one?
Well, I'm hoping they're doing the Chargers Texans game. That's on CBS too. On
That's a long
Saturday.
Play.
From Houston to Buffalo?
Yeah.
I mean, 5 or 6 hours. 5 hours.
Yeah, it's still a long flight. But I guess it's a private flight. What am I complaining about?
Not.
So that will be Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, and Evan Washburn.
Ian Eagle.
So you're only going to get Tony Romo on Broncos Bills.
Oh, damn it.
Which I'm not mad about.
No, I like that. I like that for that game. I like listening to him. So I love Jim Nantz's voice. Just a joke. Sure. And then Tony Romo, just as mediocre a quarterback as he was.
Which he was a really good quarterback.
He was a good quarterback. He wasn't, but he had the same stigma to him that Dak Prescott has. You know what I'm saying? You can do all this stuff, but you can't win this game. I like Tony Romo. There was a play in the last. I don't even know which game they were covering, but there was a play in the last game that they were covering on Sunday, and the quarterback took the snap, and immediately Tony Romo goes check down. I mean, he just I don't think he knew he was saying it, but he said it out loud. He said check. I mean, the guy had taken like 2 steps back of his 3-step drop, and he goes check down, and he literally hits the running back out of the backfield on the very next thing. I was like, holy crap, this guy is amazing. He just knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. He did one he did a game earlier this season with Bo Nix, and he's like he started doing that exact same thing. He's like, oh, I know exactly what he's gonna do here, and he's like, oh, it's gonna do this, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be this. And I'm like, what is he? How do you know this?
Right, like he's got the script.
Yeah, he just has it, and then he calls it all right. So all right,
it's amazing. I believe when he says this, I believe it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like the best color guy to listen to. I can't. I've listened to Tom Brady like 5 times now, and I can't. I don't know why. I just can't. There's something. You know what he said during the. I can't remember who was it. It must have been the Buccaneers. It was Buccaneers Saints, right?
Sounds right.
He says in one of the plays happens, and he said something about the Saints, and he goes, well, the Saints are in a position I've never experienced. They got nothing to play for. And I'm like, what a douchebag thing to say.
But he might be right.
He might be right, but I mean, oh, come on now. You don't need to say that. Right?
Yeah, no,
you just put down the Saints. You just put down the Saints organization as a whole in one little swoop. Oh, they're in a position I've never been in. And I'm like, oh, you're so much better than everybody else.
It sounds hurtful, but if it's true.
Well, of course, the NFL made up 6 or 7 rules just for you, but that's okay. Whatever, dude.
I get that you're mad at him.
A little deflation too, and phone smashing, and there's all kinds of stuff. Whatever. But he just something about his voice. I don't like his voice. It's not pleasing to me. I don't know what it is. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't have the best, most soothing sounding voice.
Maybe he'll get better at it.
I know what you mean.
As he goes, he might get better at it, but it's just something about it. Maybe there's still a little stilted because he's still learning it. I don't know, but it just doesn't flow and it doesn't come across as.
Well, I know that a lot of people initially weren't big fans of Tony Romo.
That's true, but I couldn't do without Tony Romo now. I mean.
Yeah, I mean now you need him.
Yeah, he does all the big games now. So woo. Anyway, that's playoffs. Anyway, let's move on because we're way deep.
Yep.
Let's talk about college football.
Wait, did you have trivia questions about that?
Oh, I do have trivia questions. Let's go back to the NFL. Let's go to, how about this picture? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the trivia questions for the day. You ready? So, Of the teams in this year's playoffs, we're just talking about the teams in this year's playoffs. There's 14 teams there, right?
Okay.
Okay. Which of the teams that are in this year's playoffs has the best all-time playoff win percentage?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with a legacy team. Well, because I know maybe it would be the Bills because the Bills went to like freaking 5 Super Bowls and just didn't win any of them.
Super Bowls,
but that's only one loss. That's only one loss a season.
I was gonna say Super Bowls count as a loss though.
Yeah, but you get 3 or 4 wins on the way to the one.
That's true.
So
that's true.
That's a pretty good ratio. I'll go with somebody like the Steelers. They've been around for a long time. They've won a lot of football games. I'll go with like the Steelers.
Okay, so Steelers is wrong, but Green Bay is right.
Oh,
Green Bay.
Interesting.
Green Bay at 587. They're 37 and 26, and Baltimore is second at 567. They're 17 and 13.
Are they all? I bet all the teams are kind of like right in that wheelhouse.
They're pretty close.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the second part of this, which is which of the current year's playoff teams has the worst all-time playoff winning percentage?
Houston Texans.
No.
Ooh, second to Houston Texans.
Second guess?
Yeah, second guess would be. I'll go with Commanders.
It's the LA Chargers.
Oh,
387 is their 12 and 19 all time. Second place is Detroit, 391. They're 9 and 14. They've only played in 23 playoff games. Period.
That's kind of impressive.
Detroit, because they just never make the playoffs. And if they do, it's one game. All right. So here brings the second question: who's played in the most playoff games of the teams in this year's playoffs?
Denver Broncos.
It's Pittsburgh.
Sorry.
Pittsburgh has played in.
Should have saved that guess for later.
Yeah, Pittsburgh has played in 64, and Green Bay has played in 63.
Huh.
So if Pittsburgh can outlast Green Bay, play one more game, then they might tie for all.
Oh yeah.
Right. And then last one.
Okay.
Which of these teams has lost the most playoff games?
Oh man, I feel like I need to go with the Bills because I mentioned them earlier. They ran a lot. I'm gonna go with the Bills.
It is not the Bills.
Oh.
You're 0 for 4. It's the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 31. They've got 31 losses. Pittsburgh and the Rams are tied for second with 28.
Huh.
So there you go. If you're looking for a team to bet on to lose, it's Minnesota, Pittsburgh, or the Rams.
You know what? Those don't seem like the craziest choices.
But the Minnesota and the Rams are going to play each other. One of them's got to win.
That's true. So one of them has to lose.
One of them has to win. One of them is going to lose again. But yeah, Green Bay and Baltimore, that's who you want to bet on to win. They're the best playoff percentages, although Baltimore's probably a safer bet than Green Bay. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I thought those were interesting.
Good ones.
I thought those were interesting to look up just to see who's the all-time records for, playoff. There was a lot of things I wanted to look up that you just can't find the answer to. I don't have the crack staff of stats people,
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you have to find yourself by doing
You've got to do the math.
Going through season by season.
Yeah, and I didn't have time for that.
That's fair.
Did I ask the question last week? Did I ask the question about? Did I even ask a trivia question last week? That's my first question.
I can't remember.
I wanted to ask which season had the most 10-win teams in it. Did I ask that?
Yes, you did. Good. Yes, you did.
I want to make sure I covered that.
Yeah.
Because this year had a lot of 10-win teams in it, and one of them didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Poor Seahawks.
Yeah, poor Seahawks. All right, let's talk about college football. We got 2 semifinal games. Notre Dame is playing Notre Dame and Penn State are playing in the Orange Bowl. I want to say Notre Dame at Penn State because of the seeding, but it really doesn't matter at this point. Seeding's kind of out the window. Penn State got there by throttling, let's say, Boise State. Ashton Jeanty still ran for 126 yards, by the way, against Penn State. That was like his worst performance of the year. And still.
It was all they had, though.
But everyone in the stadium knows he's getting the football. And he still ran for 126 yards against one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the country.
He's good.
He's good.
It's without a doubt, but it only emphasizes that he can run for 200 yards. You'll probably still lose the game if you can't do something else, too.
It's true.
You have to have another dimension to your game.
All right, so knowing how Notre Dame beat Georgia and how Penn State beat Boise, who would you put your money on?
I'm expecting Notre Dame to win this game.
Defensively.
Defense, just altogether. I think Penn State's offense is suspect.
Okay. So you think Notre Dame's going to...
I think Notre Dame can outscore them. Like, even if the defenses don't show up, I think that Notre Dame could outscore them. But Notre Dame does have a good defense, and Penn State's offense is questionably up and down. Literally, outside of T.J. Warren, they don't have anything.
It's true.
He seems to get it every time, but they don't have anything.
The running game eventually opens up for Singleton and what's his name? Allen. But yeah. I don't know.
I think Notre Dame's got him, though. Which is weird because I wouldn't have guessed that going into the playoffs.
Do you think Notre Dame's going to play for a national championship?
Seems that way, yeah. Also, that would be a nice little story, right? Notre Dame versus Ohio State. That would get all the all the blue hairs up in their fields.
Or Texas.
Or Texas.
It doesn't matter who the other.
But it would be better if it was Ohio State because it's a whole Midwest thing.
I suppose that's true. Which brings us to the other semifinal, which is Texas and Ohio State. Ohio State played probably the most perfect first half of football against Oregon in the Rose Bowl that I've ever seen. Now, Oregon helped them out by leaving a couple guys wide open. I don't know what happened. There were a couple of busted coverages. There were a lot of confusion, it looked like, on the Oregon defense for the first half of the game. Now, part of that's from not having played in 24 days. And I think that happened to everybody because all 4 of those seeded teams lost.
Yeah, the 4 highest seeded teams all lost.
I don't think that's right. I think that would make me scratch my head and go, hey, what did we do wrong?
You waited too long. You freaking dragged it out a whole month. Why?
It couldn't have been the teams. It can't be all 4 teams. It's got to be something we did wrong. But Ohio State had a good tune-up game. Their offense was humming, and they just came out and destroyed the Oregon defense right off the bat. But anyway, it is what it is. So Ohio State looked good against Oregon. Ohio State looked good against Tennessee. If you were putting money on one of these 4 teams, would it be on Ohio State?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good.
If their offense is going, I said this when they played Tennessee. I said it again before they played Oregon. When their offense is humming, there isn't a team out there that can stop them. There's no one good enough.
There you go.
Defensively, you can beat them, but you have to be on all cylinders as well. But I don't know that you're going to keep up with their offense. Is the problem? I mean, these guys put possession after possession after possession of touchdowns on the board. Like you can't not match. I think it was the second or third drive in that game. Oregon got a stop on them.
Yeah.
And then got the ball back and then punted. And I was like, you're giving them the opportunity to drag this away.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't play with it. But Ohio State beat Tennessee 42-17, beat Oregon 42 to whatever it was, 41 to 21. So they've done the same thing to two different teams.
Yeah,
big first quarters in both games. 14 against Oregon, 21 against Tennessee. It's all about big first quarters.
It is. Texas struggled. Let's call it that way. But I think let's give a lot of credit to Arizona State for not folding. Arizona State was down 17-3 at the half. Made a little bit of a run with a safety and a field goal in the third quarter, right? Makes it 17-8. But then Texas scores again to start the fourth. It's 24-8. At that point, it's like, okay, then I'm ready to watch something else, right? But they didn't give up. They got the ball back. And drove down the field and scored on the next possession, made it 24 and got the 24-16. And then the last drive, 3 plays, 79 yards with a big giant pass to Scadaboo. Scadaboo's really good.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's really tough. I mean, that's the best way I can say. He's fast, but he's tough. He's a tough runner. He's hard to bring down. He may have a little push off on the catch that he made. Maybe. But there was a lot of non-calls. There's a lot of things that could have been called. Anyway, this game goes to overtime because they go down and score and tie it up. They had a chance to win it. Both teams had a chance to win it in regulation and didn't. And then it went to overtime. And then, of course, they trade touchdowns in the first overtime. And then, of course, the second overtime, the one play, giving up, that was what killed me. The minute that in the second overtime when Texas scored on one play, the first play they scored a touchdown, I was like, oh, man, you might have just bit it.
Might have, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that might have just been it, right? And then they get the 2-point conversion, and so then it was 39-31. And it ends in an interception, but Arizona State played great. 510 yards of offense, 29 first downs. They held the ball for almost 38 minutes of this game, and they still couldn't win. Still couldn't just stop when they needed one more stop. But Scadabo runs for 30 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was the leading receiver, 8 catches, 99 yards. Now, some of that was that one catch for 33 yards.
For everything, yeah.
It was smarter than that. 62 yards. It was a 62-yard catch. So they were, I literally thought Texas had this game pretty well in hand at halftime. There was that little bit of time in the third quarter. Okay, well, maybe. Then they score the touchdown. I'm like, nah, this game's over. I literally said that. This game's over. There's no reason to watch this. And so they didn't give up. And so you got to give them credit. And
turned into a good one. You shouldn't tune out.
It was the best game of the whole 4.
It really was, wasn't it?
It might be the best game of the playoffs so far. I think that's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anytime you get an overtime game, it's a good game. But anyway, I liked it. I thought Arizona State did great. Well done to them. But Texas is through, and so somebody's going to yell Texas is back, right? And then
I think at this point you can if you want to. Like this is as good a time as any. They made it through the regular season. They won a couple. They didn't win really any big games during the season, but they won a couple games. And yeah, there's ever a time to yell Texas is back. I think this is about as close to being it as it.
Yeah, I
just don't yell it after week 1.
And and the only thing I have an issue with is, look who they played: Clemson and Arizona State.
Right,
that's who their playoff wins are against. I'm like, okay, so Ohio State. I would guess if I was a betting man, I would guess that Ohio State is going to clobber them. I think it's going to be ugly. And then you're going to get Ohio State and Notre Dame. So I don't know. Penn State could win that game. That's closer than I think it's going to be. Penn State, Notre Dame. I'm not willing to tell you that Notre Dame is for sure going to win. Penn State can win that game. I don't think Texas can beat Ohio State. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. No matter what scenario you run into.
I think that the only way that it happens is with mistakes, their own mistakes. Ohio State have to. Yeah, Ohio State has to fumble the ball more times than they're supposed to, and things like that. So, yeah, I think that's the only way that comes back to help you out is if Ohio State loses the game, then you win the game.
Could be. So you got Notre Dame and Ohio State in the national championship game?
That sounds about right to me. Put the couple Midwest teams.
And you're going to pick who?
Ohio State at this point. No reason not to until they prove that they can.
That's what I would say too. Okay, so real quick, let's talk about the Ducks men's basketball team. They got their behinds handed to them by Illinois at home.
Happens.
A 32-point loss at home in a conference game. Not a great look for the number 9 team in the country. They are now the number 15 team in the country, by the way. But they rebounded to beat Maryland in a close one, 83-79. Maryland's not bad by any stretch.
That same Illinois team is putting up 30 points plus right now on Penn State.
Yeah, Illinois is good.
Yeah.
Illinois is really good. And Oregon plays Ohio State, by the way, tomorrow.
Yep.
If you're watching, Oregon's 2-2 in the Big Ten. They're sixth, but they're tied for sixth with Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, UCLA, Penn State, and Ohio State.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of basketball to be played. Michigan is 4-0. They're leading the conference. Michigan State 3-0.
Well, all they had to do was fire Howard, and they got better.
and Indiana, who's unranked, is 4-1 in the conference. They're 13-3 overall. They're going to be ranked here pretty soon too. So anyway, there's a lot of good basketball. This is the problem with the Big Ten. There's a lot of good basketball teams. There just are. They've been playing this way for a long time. You could always say Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Purdue, Wisconsin, even Iowa.
The only thing I don't like is that we play Ohio State on the road, but we don't get them at home this year.
There's a lot of that. You'll get them next year, I think, is how that works. Yeah.
That stuff bugs me. It's like I want to play them multiple times. What are we doing here?
Yeah. What do you think of the gray Mighty Oregon uniforms? The gray.
I have one of these jerseys.
Do you?
Yeah.
You like?
They're
those?
pretty cool. I mean,
the shorts have the forest on
the trees.
The trees, It's like foggy, misty.
I don't have the shorts because I don't. I've seen them when I worked at the Duck store. I used to see them all the time. And I was like, I don't like the way they look in person.
I got you.
But it's cool. The gray's neat. I like our green and yellow, and I like when we mix black and yellow or green and black and things like that. I like having one of our base colors. So a jersey that's just black and gray it's cool. It's just underwhelming.
I gotcha.
Just want a little more duck color in there.
Yeah, agreed. A little twinge of yellow or green would be good on the gray uniforms.
Yep.
Just a little hint. But yeah, long ways to go in the college basketball season. Although I say that the Ducks have played 15 games, it's about halfway, I guess.
Yeah,
the rest of it's all conference games. So pretty much from here on out. So there's a lot to be played. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be good to see because they got off to a really good start. So their only losses are to UCLA barely, and then that loss to Illinois. So it'll be interesting to see if they're right now they have them in the NCAA tournament. They're in the bracket. If you go look at ESPN's bracket, but we'll see how good they are by the end of the year. So there's going to be a lot of more close basketball games this season. So, but I like the Big Ten Conference for basketball. It's a solid. I mean, it was better than the Pac-10. The Pac-10's always been, or Pac-12, always been, had one or two good teams, and everybody else was meh. The Big Ten is a whole different story. If you can win the Big Ten in basketball, you're doing something. The ACC, same way.
And the SEC's been getting better too. So the last couple of years, they've been making threats.
And did you see what Tennessee did?
I saw that they got blown out.
Yeah.
And then I saw that they won.
Yeah, they got hammered. By 30 against Florida. Florida's a good team. Florida's number 8 team in the country. Don't get me wrong, but again,
Tennessee and Oregon just mimicking each other.
You have in the SEC you have the number 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 10 teams in the country. So there's a lot of good basketball there in the SEC too. So the SEC and the Big Ten, and then the ACC always has Duke, and there's always that. So anyway, I'm looking forward to the end of the basketball season. We'll talk more about NCAA basketball as we go. The ACC, by the way, only has one ranked team, and that is Duke, which is weird because usually you see North Carolina or NC State or somebody, Virginia.
Yeah, you're used to seeing Duke in a lot of positions. Yeah,
but not like this. So the records are not nearly as good as the other conferences. So it'll be fun to watch. I don't like watching regular season college basketball, but I do like watching playoff, conference tournaments and the NCAA tournament. Those are fun to watch. Because anything can happen. You don't know. Somebody gets hot at the right time, you're in the NCAA tournament. So I do like that part. Anyway, let's talk about what? Anything else? You want to talk about the NBA real quick, or you want to hold it?
Oh, we can hold on to that for another day.
All right, let's hold on to that. The other thing we're going to talk about next week is the TGL.
TGL.
The TGL, which is what is it called? The Total Golf League? Is that what it's called? Or
the sim golfing thing?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. next week too. So they're off and rolling. They've played their inaugural match already, indoor golf, and I have some thoughts about it.
I'll bet you do.
We're going to talk about that next week. So anyway, yeah. So we want to thank everyone for listening. I don't have. You got anything you want to talk about? Anything that's grinding your gears?
Nothing that's grinding my gears at the moment. No.
Okay. Then I want to thank everybody for listening. We're going to talk about the NFL, what it looks like after the wild card round as we head into the divisional round. I don't know why they still call it the divisional round. There's not like divisional games playing. And then we'll talk about college football playoffs, some more, and whatever else we can find. So I want to thank everybody for listening. This has been a Brain Rock production, a division of Lonely Tree Media. We'll see you next week.